Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza Horizon 2 with another rally car build. My vehicle today, well, we've had far too many sensible cars of late, so I'm going to turn a VW Campervan into a rally car. What could possibly go wrong with all of that? I'm guessing quite a lot. Judging by the height, I have rather large concerns of, well, bouncing and falling over. But never mind, we may well have a rolly Campervan. Hopefully. Well, I say hopefully not. I kind of do hope it falls over. Anyway, yes, rules of the series. We must have the cars as four-wheel drive. We must have the off-road tyres, the off-road, or the Storm Island gearbox, so we should have some sensible gear ratios for the track we are running around, and the off-road suspension. This has enough ground clearance, certainly, to deal with the bumps and the jumps. My concern is of the vehicle's height and sort of general size. It's quite high, quite narrow, so falling over is a bit of a concern. I fear, at least. Whether that'll happen, I don't know. But yeah, that's the concern with a camper van. But yeah, we should be able to deal with the bumps and so on. Now, the rest of the parts, of course, to make this up into S1 are up to me, and it'll be all of the handling parts, basically. Just all of them are going to be required for this. Again, that is my big concern. The roll cage is going to be a definite, and it's actually very light. That's a surprisingly light roll cage. In fact, the whole vehicle is surprisingly light considering its size and so on, and I've swapped it to four-wheel drive. Only 111 pounds for, like, normally the larger the vehicle, the more the roll cage weighs. The roll cage for this is lighter than the roll cage for the Skyline. That's, okay, sure, I'll go, I'm having it anyway, because it's not a chassis designed for racing, shall we say, in here. And when we do the weight reduction, it's under 2,400 pounds. That's quite, that's lighter than I thought it was going to be. Okay. There's some promising signs, sort of. So far, tyre widths. What have we got? We start off with the world's tiniest tyres. Ridiculous. It goes up to 255s. That's not as bad. Again, I was expecting that to be worse. I was expecting to be stuck with like 225s or maybe 235. I mean, these are bigger than the Audi S1's tyres. Admittedly, in fact, this is lighter than the S1, I think. But it's not going to handle as well, I wouldn't expect, because, well, it's a camper van. But, yeah, we're going with 255s all round. I'd like bigger tyres, but it's not as bad as I was thinking, so yeah, I mean 345s would be fantastic, but I'll take it for now. Of course, we got a for aero. It looks very peculiar. It looks really peculiar without that front bit. Yeah, well we're going with aero, but it looks strange. We can have a roof rack, or we can go for the. Wait, hold on a second. The roof rack adds PI and only adds weight. The wing drops. What the? Why does the wing drop like almost 15 PI? What the? I'm very confused. But yes, we are having the the wing. Sure. Okay. Don't question it. And yeah, we can take off the rear bumper. And it's £4. Sure. We will do that. Now, my next big decision is the engine, because of course we're not going to be keeping the standard engine. Nowhere near get it into S1 with that. We have three options. We have got a 2-litre i4, we have a 2.5-litre flat 4, or the 6.2-litre V8. As much as I am tempted by the V8, I'm kind of leaning towards going for the flat 4, because I haven't used one very often, certainly. And also, I'm just seeing how much lighter it is than the V8. As much as I do like V8s and so on, I think this may be a slightly better option to go with the flat 4 turbo. It is okay. It adds a little bit of weight from the standard engine, but yeah, it's not very much. We need these to get decent power figures. But I'm going with the flat 4. I'm going to go with this one. Yeah, I mean, it's now up into A class. I'm actually surprised how much this. I mean, okay, yeah, sure, I've got full racing parts and so on, but we're already halfway through A class, and we've only got about, like, what was it, 300 horsepower or something? Yeah, 305. Okay, well, now it's time to just dump on all of the lightning parts. We'll try and get it as light as possible. But, I mean, this is still remarkably light for what it is. We're going to have to now start going for. Oh, we'll get valves on as well. Okay, so we've just cracked S1. We will have to go for the. We're probably going to have to upgrade turbo and camshafts to get to the top of S1, I would imagine. Yeah, it's going to make it heavier. but we're gonna need the power, so we'll go max turbo and max on the camshafts, another 80 horsepower. The power is going up, but I was expecting to be getting like 600-700 horsepower because I thought that the PI wouldn't be going up as much because it's not going to handle as well. But the PI is going up quite quickly with it, so okay. We will go with this one here. Gives us 2 PI, which means we can stick on the driveline and the upgraded clutch. I'm hoping we have driveline and clutch, fantastic. Into the top of S1 class, and we will get the diff as well. Voila! The campervan is ready to go, and not at all with the sort of specs that I was thinking we were going to get. 530 horsepower, 450-ish torque. Doesn't weigh very much at all at 2,400 pounds, but I was expecting more weight and a lot more power from having this thing in S1 class, because I was thinking the handling's not going to be particularly good on a campervan. So to compensate for that, the PI would let you get, or the rating system would let you get more power in. But it's not the case. This gives me some slight confidence. It gives me some slight confidence in the handling. This may not be as terrible as I expect it to be. Okay, well, I'm curious. I am very curious now to see how the campervan does. Certainly with the tyres, I think a couple of places we are likely to have quite a lot of oversteery issues. I'm hoping we don't, but I suspect we probably will. But yes, we shall go to our testing ground, Forest Brawl Circuit, where I have the customary 5 laps to drive this campervan as fast as possible. Our current leader, the R34 Nissan Skyline with a 57.6. Yeah, we're not going to be challenging that, I don't think, or the RS200 in second. I'm looking at a sort of a target perhaps for this. Could we get it into the 1 minute? Maybe. I mean, the Cadillac Escalade is the fastest on a 1 minute 1.1, so 33rd for the Escalade. Yeah, we may see this get into the 1 minute. Possibly. I mean, the Cadillac Escalade wasn't the top of S1 class. It was very heavy. It had a hell of a lot of power and drove quite nicely. So, yeah, I'm going to give the Cadillac Escalade will be the campervan's target for today. Can we get under the 1 minute ones? Handling report from turn 1. A little oversteery, but not as oversteery as I expected. There isn't going to be the same grip in this, of course, as a lot of the sports and supercars that have gone, but I mean, it's not terrible, actually, through these first quarters. Yes, it is oversteering. Certainly, oversteer is a concern, but it's... Whoa, we're going towards the invisible walls, god damn it. That came quite... Of all the ways you could hit the invisible wall, that was a relatively calm way of bouncing off it again. Yeah, like, I mean, this is holding its corner speed okay. It's, it's not going to break. It's certainly not going to break the record, I don't think. But it's, it's carrying decent enough speed through the turns for a campervan. Let's not forget what this is. It is, ooh, okay, it flies relatively nicely. I was thinking I was going to nose plant it, but it stopped twisting. That's not. I'm quite impressed, actually. I am quite surprised by this. 132 miles an hour in a straight line, and brakes were far better than I was expecting. This is not terrible. What's going on? A campervan is racing and it's not completely atrocious. I can't... No, I don't think I can quite get away with being flat out through there. I have to have a little confidence lift as that thing is going to start sliding and causing trouble. But I mean, it's not that bad at all. I've certainly driven worse cars than this one. I mean, it's flat out around the bottom there. Okay, it's only about 90, 95, 96 miles an hour. But, the fastest cars are already doing like 101 through there, so that's quite good going from the campervan. And, okay, yeah, I think I may have run the banking a little bit too much there. But it's still, not too shabby. I'm amazed with how well the campervan is doing on this set. It's not even particularly hard to drive. It's dealing with the bumps okay. There are a couple of places, certainly running down the hill towards the second to last corner, it doesn't really like doing that. 1 minute 0.8. It's gone quicker than the Escalade already. I think that's gone quicker than like a Dodge Charger. This is going quite fast. What is going on? I've built a quick campervan. I'm not quite sure what I've done. Look at that, it's 97 through that section at one point. This is surprisingly good. This is really quite surprisingly good. Okay, through the air. Now, don't have issues. The front wants to bounce up on the landing. of that jump, which is just a slight bit annoying. Not as bad as the Land Rover where the arse wanted to bounce around in the air, but it's just enough to be irritating. Yeah, it really does not like the bumps down here. It's 101, I can't hold it. 101 on the turn-in, but it just doesn't quite have that grip that I want from it, which is, let's face it, not exactly surprising. And I wasn't, as much as I want it, of course I want all of my cars to have many, many grips, I wasn't expecting this to handle the course anywhere near as good as it is. We have not gone quicker that time round, can we? Don't think we could get this into the 59s, but you never know. Right, push it on the exit of the corner. We're playing it very, very risky with the trees down there. Yeah, just trying to catch that oversteer did not work at all through there. It's with some bigger tyres, I could actually see this being surprisingly fast. If we had the 285s or even hell like 315s that we had, was it 315s we had on the Land Rover? If we had them on this wouldn't actually be too bad, I don't think. But this size tyre is doing remarkably well. We're not going to make that corner particularly well. All right, we've got one more lap. This lap here was a little bit of a bust after turn 2. I can't believe that's done a 1 minute .8. That's really, this is not as terrible as I expected it to be at all. It's okay. It's not the perfect racing vehicle, no, but it's really holding its own. I mean, straight line speed is 130 odd for a camper van that has the aerodynamical properties of a barn, and it's going quite well. Yeah, we have a bit of understeer on the turn-in down there. I just can't quite carry the same speed that I want to, and then a little bit of oversteer if you push it a bit too hard. But we're only talking little bits here and there. We've got a big slide going on this time around, but it's actually kind of worked out quite nicely. We are a little bit too far across to the right, maybe. No, we hold 100 miles an hour through. This is going quickly. What is going on? I have broken everything. I've got a racing camper van. I was worried about the bumps. I may have slowed it down a little bit too much through there. Get it stopped and turned and booted, and we're sliding towards the tree. Ooh, we got very close to the barrels. Yeah, the barrels nearly came with us. And across the jump for the final time. How are we doing speed-wise on the camper van? Have we gone quicker? We did ever so slightly. 1 minute .838 from the from the camper van. I'm quite impressed. I'm actually very impressed by that sort of a lap time from this. Yeah, that's. I slightly messed up the second to last corner. I just thought it was getting started to have problem with the bumps, so I was a couple of miles an hour slower through there. But that's not bad. That time puts it into 28th place, I believe. Yeah, no, sorry, 29th place. Fractional, and this is where the table is ridiculously tight down this end. It's fractionally slower than a Mazda Cosmo, slightly faster than a BMW 850 and a Dodge Charger. I wouldn't have put the camper van. I wouldn't have thought that it would. Certainly, when I started building this, that we would see it do that sort of time. Yeah, I thought the Escalade was going to be a bit of a silly target for it, but it beats the Cadillac Escalade, Caterham Superlight, and so on. That's not a bad lap time from the camper van. And it is not the easiest of vehicles to drive. No, it is a bit too oversteery for my liking, and certainly on turn into a couple of corners, a bit of understeer as well. It's just not the grip from the camper van. But you know, what did you expect, really? For what it is far better than I expected. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have major issues. It's just, yeah, you've got to be aware that there's just not the overall grip from it. Well, there we go. We have, from a surprisingly quick lap time from the Skyline last week to a surprisingly quick lap time. Okay, maybe not quite as dominant at the front of the table, but, you know, still. Yeah, that's very fast for a VW camper van. But that is it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.